wanted to welcome you to our first vendor pop-up fair where we're going to focus on beef. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brandy Dreibelbis, and I am the Executive Director of Culinary for the Chef Van Foundation. At the Chef Van Foundation, our mission is to help more school districts cook from scratch. We offer a variety of grants, resources, and support to help make that transition. We advocate for incorporating local products into a sustainable menu mix. And when cooking from scratch, you have the opportunity to design a menu that allows you to incorporate high quality proteins. So today we are here to introduce you to 6 California ranchers and vendors who are doing great work in the beef world. We are going to hear from each of the 6 of them. We have Mindful Meats, 5 Dot Ranch, Stemple Creek, Richard's Grass Fed, Panorama, and Cream Co. We want to encourage you to add questions throughout the webinar. Please use the Q&A function box, and then we have a dedicated chunk of time after we hear from the vendors to focus on those questions. So please feel free to add questions throughout. First, I wanted to introduce Ben Thomas from the Beef 2 Institute, and he is going to talk briefly about their work around responsible beef production. Ben?
Thank you so much, Brandy. It's really exciting to be a part of this today, and I just want to thank and appreciate Chef Van Foundation for their work creating these pop-ups. I think it's going to be a really beneficial resource for our community of school food leaders. And of course, for producers, that I'm the last person virtually standing between you. And so I want to acknowledge that and be brief in saying that all of the, appreciating Mindful Meats and Panorama's work, all of the different suppliers here have various regenerative practices, but we're part of a Beef to Institution coalition with Richard's Ranch, with Stemple Creek, with Cream Co, who will be featured today. And the difference is these advanced ecological outcome verification and humane practices. So literally measuring how ecosystems are coming back through ranching. I'll leave the kind of passionate and exciting details of that to the ranchers. I think they're much better to speak to them than I am. But I just want to share that you can see some of the infographic that's up here today. If any of the folks on any of the school food buyers that are here today, or any of the producers would like to be a part of the Beef to Institution project and support that, in partnership with Tomcat Ranch, Healthcare Without Harm, support from Chef Van Foundation, Kitchen Table Advisors, Eat Real, Center for Eco Literacy. I mean, it's a pretty broad ranging coalition of folks supporting these family ranchers who are doing advanced regenerative practices in the various companies that are bringing that beef to your operations. So I just want to put it out there that we have resources and support. You can join our meetings and our ranch tours, or look to CAF for bid resources. And we're just grateful for everybody's attention today, and thank you for having us on. If anybody has any questions or anything that they want to chat, feel free to send it in the chat to me as well.
Okay. Thanks, Ben. So now we wanted to introduce our 6 vendors. So first we're going to hear from Claire at Mindful Meats and Marin Sun. Claire, take it away.
Hi, everyone. It's really great to be here. I'm the founder of Mindful Meats and the co-executive of Marin Sun Farms. I founded Mindful Meats a little over 10 years ago. We are a certified organic beef company. That was the first non-GMO project verified beef company in the United States, and the first to bring dual purpose animal agriculture to sort of the mass beef market, if you will. And what I mean by that is that we upcycle retired certified organic pasture raised milking cows from regional dairies in Northern California for our beef. This allows us to really capture a very resource efficient pound of beef because comparative to a single purpose beef animal, like a beef cow, for example, raised on a regular ranch, that animal only produces approximately 500 to 600 pounds of meat or food in its lifetime, whereas a organic dairy cow will produce up to 80,000 pounds of food in her 5-year lifetime. So I won't go into the weeds about around that data. It's a very, very efficient form of beef. And we were written about in the Friends of the Earth research project around Oakland Unified School District about, 6 or 7 years ago as one of the efforts that they made to really bring a form of beef to the schools that is sustainable, if you will. Marin Sun Farms is the parent company of Mindful Meats. We merged in 2017. As my other hat with Marin Sun Farms, my husband was the founder of Marin Sun Farms. He was the first to bring 100% grass-fed local beef raised in the Bay Area to Bay Area market. So he was really the trailblazer for all of the beef companies that you see. Started selling frozen beef out from his ranch in the Point Reyes National Seashore and to farmers markets. And from there has grown to be vertically integrated from everything from distribution through to USDA butchering and finally slaughter. We purchased a slaughterhouse in 2014 in Petaluma. So all of our products from Marin Sun Farms products and Mindful Meats brand and products are sourced from California, small family ranchers. This is sort of our umbrella. On the Marin Sun Farm side, everything is 100% grass-fed. And of course, all the things you would expect to go with that, raised with no added antibiotics or hormones. And all of our products are processed at our slaughterhouse exclusively. We do not process for outside vendors. We only process for our branded products. Part of this effort is to ensure the highest food safety to prevent cross-contamination from other vendors coming through our plant. So any raw, fresh product that you buy from us will be processed at our facility and period, distributed, by us with, very, very wholesome quality control system in place there. We produce fresh raw products for schools, and then we also produce a cooked patty. We work with a great processor for our cooked patty. We have a 2 ounce and a 3 ounce for both the grass-fed and the certified organic. And that's an IQF patty with very simple seasoning of just sea salt and black pepper. We distribute directly to school districts. We also distribute through Gold Star. As part of my founding mission, I'd like to say with Mindful Meats, it was to increase access to regionally produced organic beef for all communities, not just communities who can traditionally afford products like ours. And our initial channel for that, and really my passion project, is public schools. So we were really the first, beef company of our type to penetrate the public school district market in California, and have continued to pursue that. And so we supply over a dozen school districts from Northern California to Southern California, 2 of the largest school districts in California. We direct distribution. We sell pallet quantities. If you need smaller quantities than that, we distribute through Gold Star, as I mentioned earlier. Let's see. Last thing I'll mention, my husband and I are also ranchers. So David continued as a supplying rancher for the Marin Sun Farms brand. We together raise beef cows on certified organic pasture here in the Point Reyes National Seashore. David was a very, very early implementer of Alan Savory holistic management practices. So essentially we have 0 inputs on the ranch. We graze our cows in small paddocks to promote soil health and grass regeneration. It's a truly, I know this word is overplayed, but sustainable way of raising beef with the 0 input component. And then it is considered regenerative. And then we also take soil samplings for carbon health to get a baseline of how our ranching practices are performing over time as far as carbon sequestration goes. So David's been ranching on this particular ranch for 10 years and has gone from being overgrazed to producing up to 6 feet of grass annually in peak grass season. So we're really proud of how we manage our ranch here and extend that throughout the rest of our business. So I hope that I didn't go over time.
Okay, thank you, Claire. That was super informative. Okay, so the next slide and company that I wanted to introduce is 5 Dot Ranch, and we've got Brian here.
Well, thank you, Brandy. Excuse me. And thank you to the Chef Ann Foundation. My name is Brian. I'm with 5 Dot Ranch Beef. We are the beef operation of 5 Dot Land and Cattle Company. So if you go back in the history of California, it became a state in 1850. Well, 2 short years later, the Swickard family left out of New Orleans and went around the Cape Horn of Chile, and they landed and became homesteaders in the Santa Clara Valley. And since then, 5 Dot Ranch has continued to grow on and be a 7th generation cattle ranching legacy here in the state of California, with the 8th generation on the ground learning from their papa how to raise cattle. So we're excited to be a family here out of California. All of 5 Dot Ranch's beef come directly from cattle that are owned by the Swickard family, all the way from their birth, all the way until it reaches your plate. So we have cow calf operation. Our cattle are all born on the ground, and we own them all the way through the process. I like to say that we're more of a cattle ranch than we are a beef company. We just really love ranching, and then we have a byproduct of beef that comes at the end of it. So we're true California ranchers here. We have ranches that we have. Some of it is owned ranches, some of it is contract ranches, all throughout the Bay Area, all the way up to the northernmost border of California with Oregon, where we raise our cattle on 100% pasture. And that allots for 6 different counties here in the area, and we graze just shy of 1 million acres here in California. Our cattle are all natural, never fed any added antibiotics or hormones. They are non-GMO certified, and they're finished on a nice barley and California rice brand to give it that high quality and taste that consumers are really looking for. What really makes us, though, a California ranching legacy is the fact that we're also stewards of the land, along with many of the other folks that are here today. We've been blessed to call this place home, and we certainly want to take care of it for our future generations, like our 8th and our 9th and 10th generations. So, of course, our rangeland management systems are sustainable and holistic, whatever terms it is you would like to play with those. I know they get washed out quite a bit, but we lead in advances leading towards carbon neutrality and sequestration, as well as land regeneration. Now, we work closely with a lot of federal, state, and nonprofit organizations to give back to land resources. So we have a lot of our cattle actually are in a program where we do fire mitigation on California forest land. We also use our cattle to help reroute rivers up in the Lassen County to their natural riverbeds. And we also work towards native grass and biodiversity recovery. A couple of the fun ones that we're actually involved with is the Goldfield Flower Project. So it's a nice little beautiful gold yellow flower that's a native grass here to California, as well as the Sage Grass Initiative, where we're helping bring back the sage grouse back as a natural wildlife here to California and to the rangelands. We have distribution partners throughout California that we can get our premium beef products out from our facilities out to your plates near and far. And by working with our partners and telling our story, hopefully we are able to continue to work together towards a dream of ours. Jack Swickard, who was the 5th generation of the Swickard family, who I believe took over at the age, or he started ranching at 15 years of age, where he was one of the youngest cattle ranchers of a Hereford herd that he had here in California at the time. He once said, "I don't plan to make a million, but to build up a good foundation herd and develop something of a name, and this takes time." Well, time is on our side as long as we continue to maintain our systems that allow us that opportunity to be able to give back to the land. We hope that you'll consider becoming partners with us as we dream together about the future of California's land and the future of our next generations of Californians to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. And Lauren from Stemple Creek, you're up next. And I just wanted to remind everyone, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A box and we'll go over those as soon as we're done hearing from our vendors.
Hey guys, I'm Lauren. I'm a rancher here in Tamales, California. Fourth generation rancher. Family's been there for 100+ years. And when I went away to college, I thought I was coming back to be a full-time rancher. There was an economic opportunity, so I went and worked in industry. Actually, the exact opposite of what we do now. I was selling veterinary pharmaceuticals, and I couldn't stop thinking about how I could go home to the ranch and turn it into a real business. So about 14 years ago, I moved back to the main ranch and we started this brand called Stemple Creek Ranch. And we were the first organic grass-fed beef in Marin County. And we actually continue to do grass-fed, grass-finished organic beef, but we also have a conventional line of grass-fed, grass-finished beef. We're also the first carbon farm plan in the country and technically the world. And what that was is the Marin Carbon Project did this study where we did a 10-year study that just finished, shows that we sequester 3,000 to 7,000 pounds of carbon per acre per year with our current management. And it's really, really, really cool data, but it's also just blown my mind about how regenerative agriculture works. And we've been doing regenerative agriculture before it was cool and called regenerative agriculture. We now have certifications through the Land to Market program, Savory Hub Land to Market program. Also, we're Audubon bird friendly certified. We're GAP 4 certified, and we're certified organic. Most of the product that we would potentially sell to you would not be certified organic, would be our grass-fed, grass-finished line, full disclosure. And we raise all the animals that we harvest as well, or own them. Own them before we harvest them. And the huge thing, as you guys decide who you're going to partner with, we do work with Creamco, and they can help fulfill some of the orders or the cooked goods. But also, I highly recommend you to go visit the rancher that you work with and to walk in the pastures and see the grass and just understand and just learn from the rancher. And if it's one of the things that really drives me a little bit crazy about the industry is the amount of greenwashing that goes on and claims that are made that people can't back up by actually coming and visit. So I would highly recommend whoever you decide to work with, you go visit them, you see what color the cattle are, you follow the whole process all the way through, and you actually look at the grass, you breathe the fresh air, and see the whole system. So one of the things that we really focus on is honesty, transparency, and quality. And I think that's pretty much it. Well, we want to work with you. We actually were one of the first beef companies to get the Novato Unified School District. We work with Santa Clara, and we work with a few other schools right now. And most of that product goes through Creamco, and they're a good partner for us, but we do sell directly as well. So I won't take any more time introducing us and our brand, but hopefully you know about us already and you support us. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Lauren. Okay, next we're going to hear from Richard's Regenerative, and we've got Carrie here.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. My internet up here at the ranch isn't so great. My name is Carrie Richards. I'm one of the owners with my siblings of Richards Regenerative. I run my family's cattle ranch up outside of Sacramento. We are the fourth generation to run it. My siblings and I started Richard's Grass-Fed Beef, now Richard's Regenerative, almost 10 years ago. Because similar to Lauren, the program we were doing at the ranch just wasn't quite enough income for the kids to come back to the business. So here we are, we're selling beef. We are grass-fed, grass-finished. We're certified by American Grass-Fed. And also, just like Lauren, we're certified by the Savory Institute with their EOV program. That program is monitoring ecological outcome benefits. So we monitor every year soil health, we monitor biodiversity of plants and soils, and water infiltration. We also work with Point Blue monitoring as well. And I pretty much invite every scientist to our place to tell me what's going on and how we can make everything better. We source from our ranch as well as other ranches that are EOV and American grass-fed across California. We've been part of the Beef to Schools and Institutions program for about 3 years with Lauren, as well as Cream Co. Meats. It's been an amazing program. We're selling into a bunch of school districts already. And we do that utilizing our partner, Cream Co. Meats. They do all of our production and all of our deliveries, and they go all the way to the north of the state and all the way down to Southern California. So they've been an amazing partner of ours. Part of the Beef to School and Institution program, we host events for school districts at our ranch. So if you're interested in one of those events, please reach out to us because we'd be happy to have you to show you do and our practices and enjoy some beef that you would be serving in your school districts. That's pretty much it. We do a lot of stuff that these other ranchers do. I mean, all the people in this group are really great. I read a statistic that 1 billion school lunches are served every year in this state. So there's plenty of room for all of us. And I'm happy to talk with any of you and answer any questions. Thanks.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Carrie. Next, we're going to hear from Mark at Panorama.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Luna. I am the Regional Sales Manager with Panorama Meats. Panorama has been around since the early 2000s. They were formed by a group of ranchers who want to do ranching the right way, ranching that was good for the soil, water, animal, and people. Panorama is regeneratively raised. The land is managed by the Audubon Conservation Ranching Protocols. We are 100% grass-fed, grass-finished year-round, never confined to feedlots. We are non-GMO, no antibiotics or hormones ever. The land is free of pesticides and herbicides, and the cattle operations are certified for humane animal handling practices through the Audubon Society. We are 100% domestic U.S. beef. We never buy off the open market. When our ranches are out of cattle, we're out of product. So we don't buy elsewhere. All of our product is 100% traceable. And the beef quality is the combination of the right breeds, along with the genetics, high grass forage, and low stress grazing capability. We only use British breeds, Angus and Hereford. We like to use the smaller framed animals, which we find to marble better on grass. And all of our cattle are 30 months of age or younger at time of harvest. And then the beef quality for consumers, it's 60% more omega-3s, 50% more vitamin A and E. But we have a really good partnership with the Audubon Society, which in 2021, we decided to step up our regenerative protocols by partnering up with them. There's a nice USA Today that came out in 2021 that everybody will get to read the nice little announcement that they put out. So I think we have some nice items for the school districts that we can run. We have a nice IQF patty that we've been doing for UC Davis Med Center that is doing very well. The Med Center, they buy some of our other primals that we have available. We have plenty of trim that the school districts can use. Lean points are, 80-20, 85-15, and 93-7. And we have a nice cooked line, which we have meatballs, hot dogs, sausages. The meatballs are great. My kids love them. And, it all comes down to taste as well. I mean, we can have all the attributes, but at the end of the day, if the kids don't like it, they won't eat it. And my kids love the product. Our ranches, we have them up and down the West Coast. And then we also have some in the Midwest, which really helped us out during the drought. We had to send some cattle over to finish feeding because of some of the ranchers, they ran out of grass. So it really helped us out. And plus they really marble really well in the Midwest. Distribution partners, we're currently set up Tony's, US Foods, or we can ship directly. Want to thank the Chef Ann Foundation for having us. Really do appreciate it. And thank you guys for all your time.
Thank you, Mark. And lastly, we've got Sam from Cream Co.
Good afternoon, everybody. Silent for so long. Of course, I want to say thank you to the Chef Ann Foundation for having us. Super important to have these types of summits and get this information out to the people. I've seen some of the names on the attendees list. Some of them are familiar. It's good to see those names, but everyone I haven't had a chance to talk to yet, I would love to talk to you after this meeting about the chance to serve regenerative beef in your schools. Creamco is proud to be the aggregator, the producer, and the direct distributor for the Beef to Institution organization that you've heard about. In a lot of ways, Creamco and the Beef to Institution project are what we set out to do from the very beginning. Creamco was built to provide access for small to medium-sized local producers to a broader market that is usually reserved for larger entities. We grew up in California and we saw these smaller farmers who were doing everything the right way, working in symbiosis with the land, using regenerative practices, who didn't have access to the market at large that they deserved. And on the flip side, consumers who, especially here in the Bay Area, are looking for healthy ways to access these products, and they didn't have the opportunity to get them. So we set out to build a transparent, local, decentralized supply chain where we could meet producers where they are, instead of asking them to jump through a bunch of hoops to get into these larger distribution networks where their products could be undersold or ignored, or in the worst case, misrepresented. So we built a state-of-the-art facility. We, both from a food safety and a processing standpoint, for the farmers, and we are third-party audited multiple times a year with our consumers in mind, so that institutions like school districts can trust all of the products and look at that third-party information. Our goal is really to serve this missing middle between farm direct and broadline distribution. Our success is making it easy for large institutions like schools to support these farmers, who are in turn supporting communities, and also source responsibly at the same time. So whether you are a small district with a bunch of delivery locations like a Vacaville, or you excel at scratch cooking like a Mount Diablo, we have a wide variety of products with applications for absolutely everyone. To accomplish this goal of serving a bunch of schools and large institutions with small farmers, we've aggregated these farmers into a robust certified regenerative supply chain. And you've heard a lot about certifications, and the importance of certifications is it's very easy to use a lot of words as a marketing strategy, but that's a big difference from having a verified supply chain, and that's what's important to us. So far, we've done about 25 school districts. It's amazing to think about the amount of carbon that's already been sequestered by the students in those districts. And Carrie made reference to it, the amount of carbon we can sequester in the future with the buying power and the students just on this call is remarkable. So we hope that we can use those carbon sequestering engines in your schools to help the earth at the same time. We've been very successful with the aggregation and distribution up and down California. We deliver in the greater Bay Area from Sacramento to Santa Cruz 5 days a week. We just opened a distribution center in Los Angeles. And so now we have trucks going up and down California multiple times a week. We can make stops on the way. And from Los Angeles, we can serve all the way down to the Chula Vistas of the world. So the proof's going to be in the pudding or the ground beef. Please don't boo. We want you to talk to the directors who've already worked with us, because they can speak to our responsiveness. Everyone here is welcome to call me directly. Everyone, all those the directors have my cell phone, and just ask them about our follow through, and of course, ask them about our quality. Thank you so much to Chef Ann again. I'm looking forward to the Q&A session.
Great, thank you, Sam. Okay, let's get to some Q&A. We really created this webinar as an opportunity to make connections between beef vendors and school food directors. So if you are a food service director and you are thinking about incorporating some high quality proteins onto your menu, this is a great opportunity to ask questions directly to the vendors. That's what we're here for today. So please add your questions to the Q&A and we'll get to them. Let's see, let's start. So this question is directly for Lauren. It's from Mara Fleischman, who is our CEO, and it says, I like the idea of school ops people visiting the ranch, wondering what you think they should be looking for exactly when they visit the farm.
In my opinion, what you should be looking for is the 5 main principles of soil health. So you don't want to see, it shouldn't smell, shouldn't stink like some of the places you drive down the Central Valley and you smell the feedlot. You should look for green growing forage. You should look for real animals, the ones that they're going to harvest this week, next week, all the way through the whole supply chain. You should look for soil cover, so it's not just dirt and overgrazed, which most of the people on this call are doing a really good job of all of those things already. You should meet the people and just hear the story in person, because there's a lot to be said about competence and transparency when you're actually on the farm. And it's a big issue, Mark, not just like, for the schools, but for the industry in general. Is like, if you're an agriculturalist, why would you not want people to come and tour? Like, have an open policy where people can come and see the place at all times and be proud of the work you do. There's nothing to be hidden here. And yeah, it should be real easy to be able to do that. So those are the things I look at. I try and put myself into an administrator or a school, someone who doesn't know necessarily a lot about agriculture day to day, but it shouldn't smell. There should be green growing things. The cattle should be happy and laying down, not vocal. You should see, if it's a operator of our scale, you should be able to see a lot of cattle at different stages of the finishing process, and then understand where they go, how they're harvested, all of those types of things, and what their partnerships are with the different processing facilities, et cetera.
Okay, thank you, Lauren.
Hey, Brandy, can I jump in real quick?
Sure.
I meant to add when I was chatting that we were really honored to be a recipient of the CDFA Farm to School grant for the ranch, for their home ranch here. It's called Point Reyes Pastures, but it's the home ranch for Marin Sun Farms. And that's specifically for hosting tours for our public school districts who work with us, or really, anyone, frankly. It doesn't have to be anyone who works with us. So that's a part of the educational piece that I'm really, really excited about, is bringing the kids out and sharing what we do and what our practices are on the home ranch. We're very transparent that not all of our cattle come from our home ranch. So we do work with partners and ranchers out in the rest of California that supply us, and their practices may be varying degrees of sustainability, varying degrees of regenerative practices. But, being one of the longest running grass-fed beef producers, in California, we like to set a standard for our producers, and we like to share the work that we're doing. I think it's a great educational opportunity for the kids who might not have access to a farm or a ranch. So I just wanted to share that we're going to be starting tours next school year.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for adding that. Next question says, I'm so excited about all this regenerative product, wondering if there is a common definition of regenerative that you use to define your ranching. Carrie, maybe you can answer that question. I think you're muted.
Why does that always happen? Everybody has a different version of what regenerative is. For us, it is making sure that the ecological that our land is improving, that all the ranches that we work with, our home ranch, that when we monitor every year, that our bird population is increasing, our biodiversity of all of our plants and grasses is increasing. There are practices like cover cropping, which we do, compost application, and like Lauren said, keeping the ground covered with some sort of growing vegetation, 365. That is some of the things that we do, but I mean, it's hard to define regenerative because it's a complex system. Everybody's ranch is different. So the real goal for us is working with people and making sure we're improving the land that we're grazing.
Great. Okay. How many school districts across the state of California are now purchasing from these producers? And what types of products are school districts purchasing?
I can only speak for us, but at 20 to 25 in the last year.
Okay.
And we have all different types of products, everything that you could think of. And we are a custom USDA cut and wrap facility. So if there's something you have in mind, we can make it for you. We just did that with Mount Diablo this last semester. They requested like a faux rib and they wanted it fabricated a certain way. And that's what we did. So yeah, if you want it, we can make it happen for you.
So what are the common things school food programs are buying? They're buying hot dogs, they're buying hamburgers, they're buying bulk ground beef.
Fajita, sliced beef, crumbles, cooked patties, raw patties, and then other types of proteins that wouldn't be appropriate for this call, but a ton of stuff.
Okay.
Anything that you can do for a commissary purpose, stews, cubes.
Okay. I know one of the things that I've looked for in past positions was really high quality meatball and had trouble finding it. And it was one of the things that I spoke to Mark about as well. Anybody else doing anything like that? I know some of you are doing sausage links as well, which is good.
I mean, we have a variety of different patty sizes available. Like Sam said, we can really fabricate any kind of product you want, being a slaughterhouse through to fully fabricated product. So we have all capabilities at our facility. Our cooked processor also has a wide range of products. Crumble and patties are really crumble and patties are really the two most popular items. I would say, especially for school districts, given how difficult it is really to do scratch cooking, no matter the awesome intentions of most school food directors. So.
Great. Who can deliver directly to Southern California, and what are your minimums and lead times?
Happy to do it, as I said. Minimums really depends on the product. We try to make it reasonable, but we're going to and from Southern California every week now. So I'd just be interested to hear what the lead times are that you are available to provide and where you need it to go. And I will do everything I can to make it available to you. It's very important, as I said, to get as many people on this train as possible, because the more people who come on to regenerative, grass-fed, et cetera, the more land will be converted and the lower the price can be for schools, which is a huge barrier to entry right now. And we're doing everything we can to combat that.
Okay.
I'll say for us, we distribute directly to Southern California 3 times a week. We have trucks going down to Los Angeles. We've been, delivering down there for almost 10 years. And we work with a distributor down there that does service some, that's not Gold Star that does service some school districts who want specific things. We also work with Gold Star, and you know they distribute everywhere. Though we all know and love Gold Star, so I'll leave it there. And then we can also directly distribute from our facility in Petaluma. We prefer pallet minimums if we're going to do direct distribution, so that we can optimize freight cost for everybody. So I hope that helps.
Okay. And then
I'd
kind
like
of
to add to that.
Sure, yeah.
We can do direct shipments as well. You know, like she said, we'd like the pallet minimum, but we also have distributors in SoCal that we're using. We go down SoCal once a week. So we're using Tony's or we're using West Coast Prime. So we get the product down there, no problem.
Okay, great. Similar question then, who's delivering up to Nevada County?
I'm happy to set up a shipment up there. If it just depends what we're ordering, what the time frequencies are. But like I said, come to me with the problem. My job's to solve it for you. So that's totally on the table.
Okay.
Yeah, same for us, or Carrie. You know, between Sam, Carrie, and I, we can figure that out pretty easy. And we have trucks in Sacramento and LA every week too. So.
Okay, great.
And we currently, 5 Dot Ranch, we currently have distribution already set up for Nevada County. And so we'd be glad to add another stop.
Okay, great. The next question says, I'm a consultant working to help California school districts procure organic foods, including beef and other organic and regenerative animal products. The item I hear most requested by school districts is a pre-cooked and formed burger patty. Do you all have this item available, and can you deliver to schools directly or work through a distributor? So I think we did answer that. Both Mindful Meats and Cream Co. offer those products. Mark and Brian, do you do pre-cooked beef patties?
As of today, we do not. We just do the pre-cooked meatballs, hot dogs, and sausages.
Okay.
Pre-cooked, only hot dogs at this point, no pre-cooked patties.
Okay, great.
I'll also remind everyone that our pre-cooked patties, we offer the, California raised grass-fed, but also the certified organic, and it is a certified organic patty.
The next question says, please send contact information so we may inquire about purchasing. Yes, so we will be sending follow-up information out to everyone who's registered for this webinar. It will come out early next week. We'll be sending information about all 6 of the vendors, as well as some other resources from the Chef-Ann Foundation as well. Okay, the next question says, I wasn't aware that many of you offered a cooked patty. This is something that was deterring me from using this type of beef product. Thank you for that. I am a small district of 6 schools. I don't use a lot of product comparatively, and I don't have a lot of storage space. I heard that Marin Sun Farms works with Gold Star. What are the other options for receiving product?
Really depends on location. We sent a very small amount of cases up to the school right across from Carrie's ranch from here, which I think is almost a single room schoolhouse, like 100 students. So we, just let me know what the details are and I'll see if it'll work.
Okay. The next question says, will contact info plus available items for ordering, distribution, direct shipping, corporate, etc., be provided for each of these organizations? So just a reminder, vendors, if you haven't shared that info with us, please do so. Junie from our foundation will be sending that out to everyone next week. I believe there's 60 some people registered for this webinar, so we want to make sure that they all have this info. Next, it says, I may have missed.
Oh, I'd like to add that,
go ahead.
Sorry, Brandy. If I can add real quick, we at our facility, we have a number of certifications for the facility. One of which is CNL, or child nutrition labeling. So we have a lot of, a wide list of products for our raw products that are CNL labeled. And then, we can get product formulation spec sheets for anything that anybody needs.
Okay.
Just wanted to mention real quick, Brandy, sorry to jump in,
Sure.
but that we have technical assistance time and resources from beef bids to strategy support to finding the right, to figuring out how to narrow down the right supplier with Community Alliance with Family Farmers. So if anybody's interested in just having that initial conversation to help connect with any of the folks on in this meeting, we're happy to do that across any of the family ranches and with the Beef Institution Project either way.
And we'll include Ben's information as well for that organization in our resources. We've got 2 more questions I want to get to. It says, I may have missed this information, but for vendors going through Gold Star, is there commodity or is it only commercial?
I don't know what you mean by commodity versus commercial.
I think they're asking if they can use their commodity dollars for this, or can you only purchase your products commercially? So I believe the answer would be everything would be commercially.
Commercially, yes. Yeah, everything would be commercially.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the last question, and this is a good one, it says, do any of you make a beef pepperoni? I'm always looking for pork alternatives as we have a sizable population of people that do not eat pork. Anyone?
We don't specifically have a beef pepperoni, but we do have some beef salumis that are a little bit different. But I will take that under advisement and look into it for you.
Okay, great. Okay, well, I think that wraps up our questions. I just wanted to thank you all again for joining us today. I just wanted to hand it over to Anne before we finish things off, and she's going to wrap things up for us.
Well, for the attendees, thank you all for coming, and for all the presenters, thank you also for coming and presenting. I think it's really interesting that here we are talking about regenerative animal husbandry, sustainable organic regenerative meat, and I think that that's fantastic. I mean, when I was working in California 20-something years ago, this just really wasn't part of the discussion, and so it's really, really great. I know many of you are looking for pre-cooked product, and when we send out information, I know we're going to also send out information about how to cook it. We're really into scratch cooking. So with this type of meat and the quality that you're getting, if it's possible to cook in-house, I think you'd have a really great product that way. But whether you have to get it already cooked or whether you can cook it yourself, just upgrading to this type of product, I think, is really great. One thing, that we know is these types of products do cost more money than certainly the commodity meats that you might get from the USDA foods, but also a lot of other commercially produced meat. And there are a lot of ways to be able to do menu mix and to be able to write recipes that can help you balance your food cost. And I think that that's super important, and the Chef Ann Foundation can help with all of that information. We have it on the lunchbox, and Brandy can facilitate getting it out. So don't be afraid of buying something that's more expensive. There are ways to mitigate it, again, with menu mix and recipes. That's it for me, Brandy.
Yeah, so look for these resources to come out next week. Thanks again for joining us today, and have a great afternoon.